Heyo everybody, Haku here with my live reaction bingo for One Piece chapters 1136 and 1137. I think 1137 is titled like Shamrock Takes the Stage or something, so I don't know who or what Shamrock is. It feels like, okay, I miss one chapter and I'm this lost, but I'm excited to read as I always am. If you want a link to the bingo card to generate your own, to play along yourself with your own card, then I always leave a link in the comments and description. I always update it every week. So the only things I know going into this haven't been spoiled. I was talking to Pyro Prima the other day and he mentioned, yeah, I'm a couple chapters behind on One Piece, and he said something about somebody having no pants and things with Loki being crazy, and I'm like, what? If you're a couple chapters behind, I'm like one chapter behind, and I don't know what any of this means. So one of the spots I added is no pants, question mark. And we'll see, since we're doing two chapters, not only if we can get bingo, but how many bingos we can get, if any, if we can black out the board at all. But yeah, the only thing left to say, I guess, is that these videos go out for patrons and channel members. I am just recording this first thing after waking up. The scans came out last night, but I was like, it's kind of late. I'll just do it when I wake up in the morning. So this is morning time recording, and these videos come out as soon as I can get them out after the scans come up for patrons and channel members. But then for everybody else, when the official translation comes out, I'll post it for everyone. So if you want to become a patron or channel member, you'll get these videos a little bit early. Not last week though, because last week I just really didn't have time, and I was like, I just want to wait and do a double reaction. I just want to wait and do two chapters at once. So here we are. With a long Haku intro out of the way, let's see what I got on my board, then we can start reading. Of course, I can't show what's happening with One Piece, or Shueisha would come and cut my toes off, I guess. But I can show the bingo board, give you a little something to look at while we're reading. Let's see what I ended up with. I got Blood, Sweat, or Tears. That's an easy one. Seraphim. Maybe I should remove that one. That's not an easy one. Even though we still never saw what happened with the ones who were sent to go after Cross Guild, maybe that's not a safe bet. Bounty Reveal. Shanks. Straw Hat Grand Fleet Representatives. Hopefully we get Hyrudine at the very least. That's the easiest one for us. Named Attack. Devil Fruit Awakening. Thousand Sunny. New name Devil Fruit. Silhouetted Character. Vivi Wappler Morgans, new named character. Free space which we can click. I mean, hey, if Shamrock's a new named character. Flashback, Loki. Zoan Transformation, Cross Guild, Nika mentioned. Carrot Endor Zunisha, Yonko, Revolutionary, Food, Kid Pirates, Heart Pirates, or Marine. So I didn't get no pants, question mark. I didn't end up with that one, but either way, now let's finally get into actually reading. Starting off, it looks like we're back at Wano Piece. We have chapter 1000, 1136, The Country That Awaits the Sun. And we have Hold'em captured by Speed and Yamato here. Oni-chan Yamato in the Holy Inari Shrine Pilgrimage, Volume 22, A Mysterious Hidden Base in Udon. Oh, and this looks like a Who's Who, so Who's Who has a hidden base going on. And I wonder what we will end up getting into with the remnants of the Beast and possibly even Big Mom Pirates. Okay, just taking everything in here. Neat. Okay, before we move on, I can mark off Wano Piece if I have it. Do I not have Wano Piece either? I do not have Wano Piece. Well then, I think for now I'll leave everything as is. I don't really know if there was anything there. There might have been Blood, Sweat, or Tears, but I'm sure we'll get it later on. I just want to start reading. It's so tasty. And we have snot and drool, but no blood, sweat, or tears coming from Luffy here. It's so tasty. Even the meat is huge. This reminds me of dinosaur meat. They're quite tricky to catch, as ferocious as they are delicious. No task is too great if it's for one's savior. I appreciated Hyrudine Stanson. Gig-ga-ga-ga, or dig-ga-ga-ga. Glad you like it. We have all of this stuff going on here. Hello, giant lady in the stripes. Okay. It's rare for humans to make it all the way to the Sun Realm. Most confuse the underworld for Elbaf proper, and they flee before they find their way up here. Okay, so we have a few things here. Is food one of my options still? It is one of my options still. We have a few things. We have Yonko because Luffy is here. Okay, anything else? No mention of Nika yet or Cross Guild. Zoan Transformation might be in there somewhere, but I'd have to look more closely. No new named character. We already knew everybody here. Let's see. No flashbacks for Loki yet. No silhouettes yet. Well, I mean, like, not an actual silhouette of anyone we're supposed to know at the very least. No awakening or named attack. Okay. Grand Fleet representative, though, we have Hyradine. I'm sure there might be a Blood Sweater tier somewhere, though. Listen up. The Mighty Oars was a warrior legendary even to you giants. He'd tower over any of you 3 times over. And guess who finally finished him? That's right. Way to go, Captain Usopp. I love Usopp with the facial hair. I honestly would be down if, like, we just, like, kind of changed his design with that. Wow, your skin really is blue. You should see Fishman Island. There are as many skin tones as there are fish in the sea. I've always wanted to see a mermaid. No shame in that. They're a sight to behold. Mermaid Cove is more enticing than heaven itself. Whoa. That said, my heart soars just as much when I see you giant ladies. Oh, Sanji-kun, you're so silly. It's cute. Woohoo, beauties everywhere I look. I'm getting buried in babes. And what are you? Who, me? We just have casual Brook. I can answer with my own blues. What the heck am I? Or what the heck am I, Diddy? Yeah. I guess it's a big wide world out there. Let's toast to it. I'm surprised so many giants have never gone out to sea, says Zoro. Yeah, says Nami. I kind of assumed they were all pirates. Grr, and this is Road crying. Nami-taso, I want to apologize to you and this other straw hat about before. He ain't gonna be forgiven that easily, but beating a proper apology out of him was the least we could do. Gerd Tasso's sadistic side really makes my heart flutter. Don't sweat it. It's not like anyone died. Although, that's only 'cause Usopp stopped me, he says, drinking. If he didn't, it would have been your head. Wah! Rodo, gya. Don't tell me you picked a fight without checking their current bounties. You never stood a chance. Don't hold back next time, says Gerd. Gerd Tassel! She's so harsh I can't get enough. Come on, everyone. Everyone born here on Elbaf shares the same dream, to become the next sun god and rule the world. That is interesting to note. Sun god? Says Zoro. Are you kidding me? The sun god isn't a ruler. That's right, he's the god of liberation. More like destruction. You're wrong. Everyone knows he was the god of laughter. It's getting rowdy. And see, I like that all kind of fits Luffy's story and general trajectory, being somebody who's freed a bunch of people everywhere we've gone, destroyed things everywhere we've gone, and brought and had laughter. So I like that all of that is kind of fitting. He's getting rowdy. What's this about a god? The sacred Harley texts have been passed down for generations in Elbaf. The legends are written in an archaic language, so there have been countless interpretations. No one can say for sure which translation's accurate, and this is the result. According to the Harley text, the world's already been destroyed twice before, and the name of sun god Nika is invoked after each instance. Nika. This is so cool. So it's not even just like Joy Boy stuff. I wonder then if the Harley texts are referring to the original Nika, maybe the first person who had the fruit, and then to Joy Boy and the second one who had the fruit. And now the third is Luffy. I wonder if that's it. If not, if we're talking about the world being destroyed twice and Joy Boy isn't counting as one of those times, then it's like we're getting like even further back lore than we had before. But that's very interesting, and it makes sense then if the fruit is connected to each time. But we have a few new things I can probably put in. We've definitely had some tears there from Roto, so Blood Sweater Tears is there. I don't think we've had a new name Devil Fruit or a proper silhouetted character, but Not 100% sure. No new named attack or new named character quite yet. I don't think there was a flashback or Loki. But again, maybe I was just too engrossed in the chapter. I wasn't paying attention to those sorts of things. Do I not have Nika mentioned? There it is, Nika mentioned. Okay. I don't think there was a zone transformation because Chopper's not here. Okay, I'll leave it at that for now. Who can say if he was the world's savior, or the great destroyer who brought it crashing down? All we know for sure is that he heralds great change. That's why the rulers of the day always tend to fear Nika's return. That, again, makes sense where we saw the same thing with Vegapunk, where he's like, I'm just giving you the information I know. I can't say if the people who founded the world government were like in the right, or if Joy Boy was in the right. So this is the same sort of thing. We don't know if whoever the current incarnation of Nika, whoever has the fruit, we don't know if they are somebody who frees the world or somebody who destroys it. And honestly, because it's One Piece and because of the trajectory of things, I'm going to bet it's somebody who did something good and kind of saved the world each time. But I do think it would be interesting if we went the other way, where it maybe varied back and forth. But then again, with Emma's relationship and stuff, it seems like Joy Boy was a good person. But it would be interesting if Joy Boy was actually this really horrible first pirate, and the world government had to come together in order to save the world from Joy Boy. And so it's up to Luffy to be like a good version of Joy Boy instead of an evil one, but it seems like Joy Boy himself was good. So, you know, there's that. It doesn't seem like that's going to be the case. Same thing with Nika. It would be neat if Nika was like some evil destroyer, but Luffy has to be the good version or whatever. But again, with what we know from how he was worshipped as this liberator, it's probably not going to be the case. That's the guy Bonnie mentioned. Yes, the sun god's become a symbol, someone the hopeless and desperate turn to for salvation. They say Nika is adorned by white clouds, with white hair and white clothes to boot, and he's said to have a contagious booming laugh. And it just feels so, I don't know, crappy to me that none of this was properly foreshadowed and people like cope with the Skypiea stuff, even though that was clearly just something that Oda didn't think of at the time and kind of just connected retroactively. But it's kind of a shame that like 30 chapters before Gear 5th is, maybe even only like 20 chapters, was the first time any of this was ever even brought up, and now it's such a key central point of the story. No wonder everyone been saying I look similar, but I'm sure he's got nothing to do with me. Don't be so dismissive, Straw Hat. You'd understand if you were born on Elbaf. We all look up to Nika. Not to defend Roto, but he wasn't lying about us all sharing the same dream. Loki was the same. I believe his motive for Harald's murder was his attempt to follow in Nika's footsteps. Nothing can justify what he did, Elder, somebody yells. Loki. So he's a good guy? No way in hell. So, this is going to be interesting. Because Luffy's done this multiple times with his, so they're a good guy or so they're a bad guy stuff with people. That is interesting that we had another one of these moments with Luffy when it comes to Loki. No way in hell, they yell. He's the accursed prince. There was a prophecy before Loki was born that foretold that King Harald would be slain by his son. Then shortly after his birth, the royal steed, the Horse of Fortune, died. That was the same year that Linlin murdered the legendary hero Jorul. Okay, so Jorul is confirmed dead then. And the tragedies kept coming. A year later, the queen herself passed on. The princeling would go on to use his natural strength to make the realm of the dead his own personal playground. He killed many of those ferocious beasts and tamed the rest. He even released a few into the villages. And that was all by the age of 10, and we do have a silhouette here. I'll mark that later. I mean, I think that should count. He was an arsonist. Loki's mischief endangered countless lives. He had the authority of a prince and a malicious personality. He caused hell whenever the king wasn't looking. And then finally, in that very castle, Loki killed King Harald, the greatest monarch Elbaf ever knew. And I mean, if we weren't counting the last one, that's a silhouette as well. a splendid wise man who tried to connect with the outside world, to get people to see beyond Elbaf's feared reputation as a land of warriors. Lord Jarul was stabbed trying to stop Loki. My helmet saved me in the end. It didn't save anything. Loki's reign of terror finally came to an end 6 years ago when he was running amok at sea when Red-Haired captured him. Shanks? Shanks really came here. Yeah, in fact, he was just here earlier. I'm not sure where he went off to, though. And we have a panel of very suspicious Zorro. Village outskirts. I thought you were acting weirdly on edge earlier. That explains it. You realize he's a reviled Kingslayer, right? Everything he told you was obviously just a lie. He said he knew where Shanks was. Do you have any idea how badly I want to see him again? Yes, I've heard about it 1,000 times. Sounds to me like he was using that to trick you. How would you know? You've never met Loki yourself. I haven't. I'm just guessing based on his reputation. I'll tell you everything I know. That includes Red-Hair's current whereabouts. If that was really a lie, I'm going to send him flying. Okay, so we have a few more things I can mark off since we're kind of skipping time a little bit. We have a flashback here with Loki there. We see Loki within the flashback. We have some silhouetted characters. So, is that it for right now? I think that might be it. Okay. I'll leave it here for a second. If you're sneaking off to do what I think you are, did you seriously expect to find your way there without me? Says Nami. Listen up, Luffy. We'll get the key, but if he pulls anything funny, we'll have to take care of him. Got it. Thanks. So they are going to free him. Why is this guy here and we have Roto? He's my new slave. I'm truly blessed. Don't forget, I'm her #1 slave, and Sanji's #2. I thought that was going to be Sanji speaking. Oh, that's so good. I thought that was going to be Sanji. But it's Zeus, and he's putting himself before Sanji. Defufu. Strong girls really get my blood pumping. He's been struck by lightning. Literally. Namitaso, isn't it neat how we're both navigators? Don't ever try to get close to me again. Yes, ma'am. That's a really, really good bit of comedy. It feels wrong for the guests of honor to bail so early. Shish. Don't worry, I brought some meat. Have you tried this moose? They're all in a drunken stupor now. They probably can't remember what they're celebrating. Say, if all the treasure in the castle suddenly disappeared... Oh, are they going to run into Shanks up here at the castle? That would be a problem. Or would that be a problem, Roto? My vision's awful, so I'm sure I wouldn't even notice. I actually love Roto and Nami here. I did not expect them to have such a fun relationship. You had this in mind since the beginning, didn't you, Nami? Huh? Your eyes. Doga ha ha. So that's what it is. Realm of the dead. Doga ha ha ha. If I understood you correctly, then I'm afraid I'll have to step back and refuse your offer. I'm sure it's an honor to be invited to join your noble knights, but that'd make you celestial dragons, right? Do you really expect anyone on the planet to willingly become scum like that? Okay, so these are God Knights. He's invited to join the God Knights, and he turns it down because everyone knows the reputation of celestial dragons as being scum. So, if that's the case, and this is a Shanks rather than Shanks, then... Shanks is like an evil brother, a child who took after Garling. Do we have any intel? All the informants we sent to Elbaf reported a giant crow heading for them before their transmissions got cut off. Their weakness is beyond believable. So was that Roto then taking out all the other informants going to Elbaf? If so, kind of hype for Roto. Oh, and that might be all the informants are the people that were in the Lego town. The random people that we saw. I'm done just standing by and listening. This is the definition of impertinence. And, okay, they are indeed missing pants. Their outfit kind of reminds me of, what is it? The Egghead outfits we just had. Shoo-doo-doo-doo-doo. And I wonder if that's a tree behind them or some sort of tail going on. God's Knight, Gunko. So we have our first God Knight named. I won't let it stand, aside from, Garling himself. Don't be hasty, Gunko. And we see one of the wolves. Dog, ha ha, eat 'em up, wolf. Hey, stay back if you want to keep breathing. And they seem to have Medusa from Soul Eater powers, but that was also the arrows and stuff were what Emu was doing. So what's the relation here with Emu? And there's a split in the arrow. It wraps around the wolf. Huh? Hey, wolf. And shoots up in order to... Okay, so it seems like the marking in the arrow was like cutting it off from whatever main body is with Gunko. And then it wraps around and pulls up to hang the wolf. So it seems like Gunko's breaking off part of her body. Is this, because it looks like it's coming from her sleeve, is this a Best Jeanist type of power where she's actually manipulating the threads of her clothes? I guess that'd be too similar to Doflamingo's ability. Is it a paper ability? And she's using paper here because it reminds me of when Konan would use her abilities in Naruto. Or is it some sort of borrowed power from Emu? Because we know that Emu can just take life away from the Gorosei, so I wonder how much the God Knights maybe are granted powers by Emu, or even made by Emu potentially. And if so, does that mean they can also just be taken back by Emu? Or maybe it's something unique to Gunko. Wolf, if we were to spare him, would you change your mind then? So that's how you operate, huh? Well, if that was your offer, I'd accept my friend's fate and wish him peace and death. It's okay to grieve and rage, but a warrior never kicks and screams in the face of death. And we have the wolf being choked out. I'll swallow all my fury and use it to fuel me when I reduce this world to rubble. A proud proclamation. I would have hated to be cliffhung there. I would hate to be cliffhung anywhere, though. This is really good. The Shaint stuff is pretty compelling. And the Loki stuff. I'm excited to see more, and I have an entire other chapter to read. Good stuff. Okay, is there anything else I can mark off? We got Shaints. We didn't see Thousand Sunny. No name for if that power's a devil fruit. No bounty reveal here. I don't remember anything like that. Of course, no Seraphim. Of course. I don't think we can confirm any sort of devil fruit awakening, because I don't think when we were talking about... Well... If you're counting it for that panel of Nika, I don't think I should, because it's not like, if that was kind of a cartoony justification or whatever. If we had seen a cut over to like Gear 5th Luffy, then maybe, but I don't think we did. No named attack from anybody, I don't remember. New named character, Gunko. No Vivi Wappler Morgans. Wow, am I going to somehow not get any sort of bingo, even on 2 chapters? It would be insane if that were the case. But we'll see. So, let's move on. We have another chapter we get to read. This one is called Chapter 1137, Shamrock Takes the Stage. No clue who Shamrock is. Maybe that'll be one of the guards up at the castle or something that they're breaking into. We have a bit of Wano piece here. Oni Child Yamato and the Holy Inari Shrine Pilgrimage, Volume 23, infiltrating the mysterious hidden base. And we have some people with cat ears, I guess. Maybe either like they're fake and they're just copying who's who because they're part of his gang, or maybe gifters. Into the actual chapter, though. Elbaf Oest Castle, home of the late king. In the 14 years since King Harald's death, no one's come near this castle. So what's going on here? The door looks like it's been busted open. What happened to the guards? What? Something's wrong? It was broken from the inside. Why would intruders do that? Only one way to find out. Let's go. So they were summoned within the castle itself. The key. Where's the key? The damage looks recent. Wait, this is... Okay, this is cool. So... if Luffy frees Loki, we could get the reveal that Loki is actually good and was framed and stuff, and Loki teams up with Luffy to help him take out Gunko and Shanks. And also, this has been a big deal this arc, was Luffy talking about how he wants to meet Shanks again, So if you meet somebody who looks exactly like Shanks, but not the real Shanks, that'd be really interesting. I just wonder if it's going to be a case where Luffy actually thinks it is Shanks and is fooled by it, and, you know, that is part of the conflict, but I doubt it'll be a real part of the conflict given that the other characters are here, and somebody like Zoro could just be like, Luffy, that's clearly not actually Shanks. Wait, this is unnerving. This place is huge. I can barely see the ceiling. This is way too vast to be walkable. Hey Roto, know where the key is? No, I'm just a run-of-the-mill guy. I've never even been in here before. Well, I'm glad you're here now. Really, Namitaso? Agreed. Now let's get moving. And we have them basically using Roto as a ride. Wow, what a castle. Being here's thrilling and terrifying. Everything's falling to pieces. Is this the intruder's handiwork? It's also cool that we have our original 3 going on this adventure. We have all of the rubble and decay. No, this battle damage has been here ever since Loki killed King Harald. This took some destructive power. Loki is a monster, and King Harald was renowned as a great warrior. This damage was inevitable. What? They're so big. This is scary, are they? This place is covered with giant skeletons. The castle once had numerous guards. On that day, around 100 of them stood ready to kill Loki, but only one survived. Lord Ja Rule. So they didn't bury any of these people? They just left them where they lied? After that tragedy happened here, coming to this site was forbidden. It's a den for vengeful spirits. Hey guys, look over here. This skull is enormous. It's also got horns. These belong to someone with ancient giant warrior blood. There are no longer any pure-blooded members of that clan, but their blood still flows in some of us. So it is sort of a relation thing. Like King Harald, who was larger and stronger than most. So King Harald was part ancient giant. And that's something that I've brought up before as a theory, is like the idea that some of these ancient races kind of evolved down into some of the others. Like, whatever the first people who came from the moon, Lunarians would make sense because, you know, Lunarian, moon. If they're the first winged people and they came from the moon, then maybe they came from the moon, they settled on the planet of One Piece, and as the main Lunarians stayed on the Red Line until their destruction and stuff, the others kind of maybe spread out to some of the Sky Islands and eventually became like the Skypians, the Shandians, the Birkins. And something similar could happen where we see that the space pirates are also animal people. They're also furries, like the minks. So maybe the minks, and the minks say that Sulong is like tapping into their ancient genetics. So that could be related to the moon. Maybe the minks and the space pirates are related to the same original ancient race. There's an ancient race of furries that they come from. And also then you have the ancient giants, and maybe both the Oni, because the Oni are large and have horns, maybe the Oni and the giants are both people who descended out from the ancient giants over the course of a long period of time. So maybe if we get back into like a Nika flashback, there's going to be like these ancient races that the current races of One Piece descended down from. And then, of course, we see that there are differences between the fishmen and the mer people, but the fishmen and the mer people can still interbreed with each other. So there is a chance that there was also some sort of original fish ancestor that both of those groups of people are descended from. So there's a lot of potential there for that kind of stuff, I think. There's something else I was going to say. Also, it's interesting to know that the minks, especially with Sulong and stuff, can harness and use electricity, while the Lunarians can naturally use fire. So they have these elemental powers that they can make use of without even using devil fruits. So that's something that could be said for these ancient races. The ancient fishman ancestors could use fishman karate, which is basically using water without a devil fruit. Then, oh, look above you. How nostalgic. That's a portrait of King Harald, the man who tried to form peaceful bonds with the outside world. It's said to be Elbaf's strongest king. He sure looks strong. Those scars on his head. Marks where his ancient giant horns were, before he ripped them out. He believed the ancient giants were relics from a war-torn era. He had horns. What conviction. After the king's death, the country fell into despair. Sadly, the one with the biggest grudge against Loki was naturally King Harald's other son, Hyradine. Oh, seriously? He's Loki's brother. They have different mothers. Before marrying the queen, Hyradine was born to a different woman. Okay, so Loki is the child of the queen and Hyradine's born to somebody else. However, Elbaf would never have recognized Hyradine's mother as its queen in any case. Why? She was born in a different giant country. Okay, so we're getting multiple giant countries here. What does that matter? They were both giants, right? They were both giants, but you can't talk when you humans kill each other all the time over land. I suppose. Wow. They say having children with a giant from another land taints the blood of Elbaf. Seems giants can be just as bigoted as anybody else. Not everyone's as pure as you, Namitaso. Don't suck up to me, trash. Huh? Why join Hyradine's crew if you think he has tainted blood? Well, you're such a creepy nerd, Roto, and we have Roto being bullied. This is amazing. You can draw sea charts. You gotta show me how. Let's be friends. Huh? Friends? He was always so earnest and straightforward, unlike me. He never lived in the castle growing up. His father may have been king, but his mother was ostracized. He endured a lot, and still said this: one day, I'm going to unite all the giant tribes. I'm going to be king of the giants. Whew, I know you're the man that can do that, Hyradine. That's really cool. I love this backstory for Hyradine. These chapters have been incredible. Elbaf has been killing it so far with the character work, much like Egghead did such a great job with its character work. I want to make his dream a reality. And see, the thing is, Egghead was doing great character work, but the things it had holding it back were like that huge chunk of time we just skipped and left off screen for like no reason. But Elbaf doesn't have that negative going for it. It's so far just been straight good the entire time. That kind of boring motivation's nothing new to me, says Zoro. Hey, this way. I found some knocked out giants. Realm of the Dead. Do you finally understand? This is only because I can't move from this spot, says Loki. The result would be the same even if you could, says Shates. You commoner. And we're purposefully hiding the side that would or wouldn't have the scar. You commoner. Or maybe he's even where Shanks has the cut scars. Maybe Shanks has the burn scar and he's the guy with the burn scar that's hiding the last road poneglyph. We're offering you a chance at divinity. Most die squirming in vain just for the slightest chance to attain such an honor. And we have the boot made from the arrow. Again, I don't know if the arrows are paper or if they're similar to Emu's power. And then she stomps with the giant boot. And there's just a pile of blood and gore left over, so I guess maybe she stomped the wolf into nothingness. The arrow points again to Loki. Crap, this again. And what is going on here? So, you're going to let loose a full-speed kick to the right side of my face. It'll turn me sideways. Then you'll uppercut me. Thanks for giving me notice. Huh. So the arrows maybe say what she's going to do ahead of time? These arrows show the trajectory of my future. The outcome's unavoidable. So maybe it is just they're not actually necessarily physical. They're physical enough to strangle the wolf, but they're more a devil fruit creation than any sort of paper or any material like that. Maybe she just has the arrow fruit. The outcome is unavoidable. Only I can stop it before it happens. Just say the word, Loki. Will you join God's knights? And then the arrow sort of carries her feet, it seems. I refuse, you fool. And she travels along the arrow, delivering the kick that we saw before. and then the uppercut. We have the injured animals all stabbed by arrows. Again, all the animals like Loki. I really think we have one of those Loki is a good guy situations. Damn it. You'll pay for this. We have a bunch of arrows coming in towards his face. Stop, enough already. Well, will you become God's knight? He sticks his tongue out. And then we have, yeah. And then the sound effects are like dong, gakko, and then baki. So, assumedly, he's getting the snot beat out of him. And then do 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 down at the bottom. Oh, that's a cool sword there for Shates. It's alright, Gonko. Okay, he removes it. We see long hair, braids, and no scar over his eye. Let's change our tact. Contact Mariwa. Not every piece ends up being useful. So this is presumably then, unless we saw the scar, I don't remember if we saw the scar or not, when the person went to talk to the Gorosei, this is probably who it was. Not every piece ends up being useful. I wanted to go about this more shrewdly, but I guess not. Not yielding, even if it means death. Do we chalk this up to faith? Captain of God's... Okay, so Captain of God Knights. I guess he was promoted after Garling became a Gorosei. Captain of God's Knights, World Noble, Figurlin Shamrock, son of Elder, Figurlin Garling. Then God's Knight, Gunko, Arrow Fruit. Alright. Long ago, the savage warriors of Elbaf dominated the New World. The world government will bring them to heel no matter what. God's Knights have mobilized. Okay, so we have God's Knights as potentially the antagonists of the Elbaf arc. That is so cool if so. That means we get to have a full arc here. We could have the Straw Hats versus the God Knights. Yeah, we have the Straw Hats versus the God Knights. And then like stuff like Loki gets involved to help Luffy probably. We have Hyradine and his crew getting involved. Okay, if Kid's still around, maybe this would be a good thing for Kid. He lost to the real things, he lost to Shanks, but maybe he helps Luffy out in some way against Shanks. I still want to call him Shanks instead of Shamrock. I wasn't expecting us to get a name so soon. Also hilarious that it also starts with the SHA. Very cool design though, for both of them really. Okay, just taking it all in. An insanely good 2 chapters. Those were incredible. Anything else I can mark off here? I don't think so, except for the new name Devil Fruit. Where is that at? Cross Guild, Zone Transformation. We didn't see any of those. No Fifi Popular Morgans. Did we see a named attack? No, I don't remember. I don't think we did. I don't think we saw a named attack. Devil Fruit Awakening, Thousand Sunny. New name Devil Fruit we got though. Wow, I somehow managed 2 chapters, no bingo. Okay then. Apparently. I don't think I should count them as Marines because they're not within the Marine structure. Well then. Incredibly bad luck on my part, it would seem. Very fun chapter, or set of chapters though. 1135? 36 was incredible. It was so good. But then 1137 was even better. Both of these are great. I love the trajectory of the story so far. I love the new characters. I kind of hope we get some really good fights and a really good solid arc out of this. That would be nice and refreshing given that we haven't really had like a standard One Piece arc in a little bit of a while. So yeah, Elbaf's been good. Like every single chapter, it's been good so far. It's been really good. Okay, I'm excited, but there's not much else to say that I didn't talk about while reading through. I loved these chapters. Thank you for being here for the video. If you did like the video, comment down there to tell me what you thought of these chapters, my first thoughts and reaction, how you did on bingo, because I got incredibly unlucky. Comment down there whatever you thought. Subscribe for more One Piece, much more on the channel. Follow on Twitter if you want. Link If you want to ask for a link to the Discord server, you can ask for a link. It's free and open for anyone. If you want to help support the channel by dropping a super thanks, that's appreciated. But if you want to help support the channel, help it keep going, but also get these videos early and get your name at the end of videos so you can get something out of it, hit join down below to become a member, or go to patreon.com/HakuOfTheTubes, or a link will be in the description to become a member. Thank you, or to become a patron. Thank you to people who are already patrons and channel members. Thank you to Chosen Regular, Evan Hawley, to Magical Girls, FR Nono, JA, and the D-Man, to Cheriton students, David Langstaff and Folded Ghoul, to Slayer candidates, SG and Stance Eater, and to Pure Element, Pate Ardial. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.